Hey everyone, Kat here with the continuing story of Pecharunt and Spiritomb. We know Pecharunt fought Ogerpon and rolled into a forest centuries ago, but someone must have found it before Mochi Mayhem, right? In fact, it likely spent time in Hisui, which begs the question, what other ghost types could it have run into there? Maybe Misdreavus or Spiritomb? Yeah, let's go with that. In this story, one of Spiritomb's 108 spirits is actually not dead yet. His name is Indigo, and he is about to find out some of his fellow spirits trained ghost types themselves. But first, he needs dinner. Dinners at Indigo's household were a big deal. The Pearl Clan home was all but silent during the day, with everyone out and about. But when it came time for their evening meal, his mother did not tolerate absences. And no, it did not matter that two of her children were adults now. At a measly 15 years old, Indigo was the baby of the family, by far. His brother Jasper and his sister Citrine could easily start families of their own now. Of course, whenever that topic came up, they redirected it. Most recently to Indigo's new weird haircut. Tonight's meal was dumplings with roasted vegetables, and the delicious scent had permeated the house for an hour before everyone sat down. Indigo's mother sat at the head of the table, his father to her right, with him and his siblings and grandparents filling in the rest. Indigo tried to soak in this moment as his plate was set before him, the comfort of routine and familiarity, the mix of voices, young and old, as everyone shared their day's adventures with half-stuffed mouths. Indigo had almost tricked himself into feeling normal when, "Hey, sounded to me like you were looking for some info on your last hunt," whispered one of Spiritomb's ghosts into his mind. The man had a slick tone, like someone who'd sell the Pearl Clan some newfangled ice boxes. "About, Pecharunt, maybe? If you want to know more about spooks like that, old Raynar here's got you covered. What do you say to tracking down my old Misdreavus, huh? I get a feeling he's still around here." Indigo said nothing and shoved another dumpling into his mouth. Just because he and some 100 other spirits were bonded by the odd keystone did not mean they all had to trust each other. In fact, since the keystone was meant as a punishment, he probably should have been more suspicious of them than he was. "Whoa, Reynard said. "Judgy much? I'll have you know that every last one of us is innocent as a newborn Cleffa." "Really?" "Well, innocent of the crime we all got punished for anyway." Indigo sighed. The man had a point, about Misdreavus at least, and now that the sun had set, if he wanted to look for one, it was the best time for it. He picked up speed with his dinner, enough to draw his grandmother Cylene's attention. "What do you not eat during the day, boy?" the retired commander said. Indigo swallowed hard. "Sorry, Grandma. I just remembered a tracking request I need to finish, so—" "Don't call me Grandma. It makes me sound old." "You are 90, my dear," his grandfather Ingo reminded her. "Quite sure by anyone's standards, that's old." He smiled at his youngest grandson. "If you've got work to do, get on with it. Your mother will survive." "Dad," Indigo's mother cut in, "don't encourage him to run off like that." "Thanks, Grandpa," Indigo said as he shoveled the rest of his food in his mouth before heading out the door. He did notice his grandfather frowning as he went. Not his typical deep-in-thought frown, but an actual frown. Like he knew all about the conversation going on in his grandson's head. "Oh, sure is a nice little family you've got," Reynard said as Indigo worked his way through the Coronet Highlands. "Must be nice for you. Wish I'd had that." "Just point out the Misdreavus you're looking for," Indigo muttered, "in a helpful color that will actually stand out at night." Yeah, I've got you covered," Reynard said. "But I'll tell you what, hanging out with ghosts can really make you a loner." He gave a calculated pause before he added, "That girl who found Pecharunt in the forest, she knew that better than anyone." Indigo crept towards a cluster of long-forgotten ruins, huge blocks of stone blanketed with moss. The Misdreavus loved this place, and sure enough, he soon spotted one that sparkled in a yellow-green tint. He readied a Pokeball. "You do know that we're a pretty powerful ghost type ourselves, right?" Reynard whispered. "Reach out with your mind. Bet you could connect to his memories right from here." It sounded a bit far-fetched, but then again, the conversation itself was pretty out there. Indigo sighed and focused, mentally reaching beyond his familiar group of ghosts to the one floating in front of him. The moment he and Misdreavus locked eyes, the scenery changed. He could see the Pokemon's most distant memory playing out before him. It was difficult to say how long Pecharunt stayed in her forest clearing. Perhaps weeks, perhaps months. For ghost types, time had a way of blending all together. In daylight, Deerling drank their fill from the stream. At night, the shy ghost types came out to play. They enjoyed Pecharunt's company, and apparently, so did the first human to find her hidden in the tall, soft grass. Indigo's heart picked up speed, though he couldn't explain why. He crept closer and threw the Pokeball. It found its mark with ease, but it didn't stop the memories from playing again. Misdreavus and Pecharunt had been playing all night, both of them the closest they could each call a friend. Tonight, they were enjoying each other's company so much, they barely noticed the dawn. Until the grass shifted, and a tiny branch snapped under the weight of someone's foot. A human. Pecharunt was both thrilled and terrified at once. Misdreavus was mostly just terrified. He hid in the shadows to see what would happen. The footsteps were full of youthful energy, as was the human's childish voice, and there was a strange aura about her. She was powerful, likely more powerful than either of them. Pecharunt had heard of some humans having psychic powers, but she never thought she'd meet one.
"Hi, I'm Vessa,"
the girl said as she lifted Pecharunt up.
"Let's be friends."
And there you go, we've got Vessa as Pecharunt's first owner, at least as far as my headcanon goes. That wraps up this mini-story. Thanks so much for listening. I'm a little behind on my shiny hunting again, so I don't quite know which shiny will feature in the next story. Although if it's an Eevee again, I'm going to have to decide what to evolve it into because I've already established that I'm not going to write 2 stories featuring the same shiny. So if you do have any opinions on your favorite evolution, feel free to tell me in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, happy reading and happy training!